there's just not been a whole lot of news in college football over the last couple of days, guys. Has there been anything going on with a certain ex-football coach from the University of Memphis?
Can I start, Gabe? I feel like I let you start a lot.
Go ahead. You start.
Okay. All right.
Actually, I want to start. I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
I'm going to preface everything I'm about to say with I feel horrible for Mike Norvell. I feel horrible for Jordan Travis. I feel horrible for every player at Florida State University because they did everything that they could to get in. But guess what? They would have gotten smacked.
Okay.
Smacked.
They earned the right to get smacked, though. That's the only issue I have.
I'm coming at this not from what is right and what is wrong.
You're not coming at this from the...
No, okay, I'm there with you.
I am coming at this fully from a fan perspective.
I can come at it from both.
Michigan, I can too. But Michigan, Bama, Washington, Texas is way better than anything with Florida State.
Yeah, 100%.
Did you watch the game against
Brock
Louisville?
Glenn threw for 55 yards. But guess what? They won 16-6 in the ACC Championship and beat a team that was ranked higher than Texas's win against Oklahoma State. But somehow Oklahoma State jumps 3 spots and is 2 spots over them, even though they have the same win in a championship.
Total BS.
It's stupid. Yeah. It's stupid. It's the only thing I have when I'm talking right versus wrong here.
Yes, it is wrong.
My issue is it's very wrong, and it sets a precedent where eye test can trump everything.
Yes.
And that is a scary precedent to set, man.
Okay.
That's scary.
It is. I've seen 2 really, really good points made over the last 2 days. One by Stephen A. Smith, who usually I do not say that he has good points. But he did. He had a really good point in saying that TCU could possibly be to blame for this.
No.
Hey. It makes sense. It makes sense. It makes sense.
Stop that. TCU beat Michigan.
And then lost 65-7.
Okay, what do you want them to do? They beat Michigan. And then everybody would say Michigan and Georgia would have been a better matchup, but they beat Michigan.
Okay, I'm just saying that one makes a little bit of sense. The best one that I've seen is from Mike Greenberg.
Well, what about Notre Dame and all these others? I'm sorry. It just makes me mad.
I get you. I
think don't blame TCU for an undefeated ACC champion Florida State being out.
Okay. Anyway.
That's stupid.
I thought that was an interesting connection.
I think it's a terrible connection.
Fine.
And it's Stephen A. It makes sense that it's a terrible connection.
But secondly, Mike Greenberg made the best point that I've seen, talking about what if this was happening in the NFL? What if you let a team play a full 17-game schedule, win their division, do everything that they needed to do, and then a committee decided who got in?
If the Joe Burrow injury happened in week 15 instead of early.
And the Bengals finished 13-4, and they won.
But Jake Browning was
the AFC North, but they had Jake Browning, and so they left him out. Yes. Imagine.
It wouldn't.
Imagine how insane that would be. And that is what we're dealing with right now. And I think it doesn't look like as big of a deal because it's college and we're used to the committee and the playoff and everything. But, like, that is what we're doing. They are saying that wins don't matter and the eye test does. And that has never happened in the history of the college football playoff.
Well, it's happened, but
not on this level.
Not on this level.
There could at least been a caveat or an argument to be made. There is not one this year.
This is truly the bottom line. What has happened here? How unprecedented it is. They are the only undefeated conference champion in the Power 5 that has ever been left out of the college football playoff, and it's simply because a quarterback injury, and I just find that to be so bogus.
Yeah,
it's like I know I lost my quarterback. I have done everything in my power to reach this height, and you're gonna rob it from me because my quarterback got hurt late in the season. No, and I just think that's foolish.
I'm with you. I can look at this either way. The fan side of me obviously.
I'll tell you about my fan side here in a second.
The fan side of me obviously is like, thank God, yes, we get to see arguably the best 4 teams.
Yeah, although it's not. If his best 4 teams, Georgia
would be in there instead of Texas, in my opinion.
But again, that goes back to the nonsense, the madness of the college football playoff committee. You want your 4 best, but we're 4 best within reason of what they've actually accomplished on their resume. But at the same time, our eye test could change, and if you have an injury, it could change. It's like,
Right.
good God, man. Like, there's subjective, then there's the college football playoff
100%. But then there's the other side of me that says, how do you do this? Even if you know that Florida State is going to get thrashed by whoever they play, which they probably would have played Washington because they probably would have been 3. Even if they were to go get thrashed by Washington, you have to do what is right. This team beat LSU. They beat Florida. They beat Louisville in the conference championship. Who else? They
Clemson. Duke.
Yeah, they ran their schedule. They won every single game. Even though you can say, oh, well, there were some games that weren't convincing. Well, that's every team.
That's Georgia
Texas,
did that. Alabama
Texas,
did that.
Bama, yes. Every team has that caveat. Washington, many games against inferior opponents that they didn't look great. It has to break your heart for all those players.
The fact
like,
that
just
you have
imagine
Jordan Travis saying, I wish I broke my leg sooner
so they could prove it.
And then here's the other part of this. Like, I don't know why there's this thought that Florida State, okay, without Jordan Travis, they're a different team offensively. I get that. They're not as good a team offensively. Why is there this thought that, like, Florida State's nothing without Jordan Travis? It's clear that there's something.
No,
They beat Florida on the road.
Yeah.
They beat Louisville in an ACC championship when they were number 14.
Yeah.
And they have, I think, the 5th highest stop rate in the entire country defensively. Jared Verse, Keon Coleman on the offensive end. Johnny Wilson.
Trey Benson.
Jaheim Bell. Like they're deep and they have a lot of talent on both sides of the football. It's just, I just find it, because I was thinking about, like, okay, what if Georgia got to this point and lost their quarterback? They wouldn't leave out Georgia.
No.
If Alabama lost their quarterback, they wouldn't leave out Alabama.
Yeah.
It's just because they feel like they can get away with it because it's an ACC team, they throw them to the side.
Yeah.
No. And I don't get that. I also don't get why, in the mind of a lot of us, and by us, I mean whether it's fans or media members, I never bought into this. It was more acceptable to have Texas in over Alabama than it was to, like, it was, how do I put this? It was more like Texas and Alabama.
Right.
If Alabama was going to get in, Texas had to get in the entire time. 100%. And they had to be ranked higher because of their head-to-head matchup in week 2.
Right.
Oh, my God. Whoopty
when Alabama was not.
Whoopty damn dude. But either way, that was so accepted. Right?
Yeah.
Like, people were like, that's how that needs to be. The fact that we find that more acceptable, a more acceptable ending than Florida State at 13-0 winning a conference championship, getting in.
I agree.
I just don't know why that all
doesn't add up.
People, and I think I know that people will say, well, College Football Playoff Committee, NCAA, all these entities should be above public pressure and public conversation. They hear the talk.
Right, they're not.
And everybody was talking about Florida State getting left out. Florida State this, that. They don't have a quarterback. They're terrible now because they don't have Jordan Travis, and they bought into it, clearly.
Yeah, obviously. Now give me your fan side.
Oh, my fan side is that this is without question better than anything Florida State. Like, any matchup that we're going to see in the college football playoff is better than any matchup we would have seen with Florida State involved. So, yeah, that's where I'm at.
All right.
But at the same time, absolute travesty. Ridiculous.
Yeah.
Stupid. I hate the precedent it sets. We'll see what it looks like going in the future.